Delay of fertility when stopping contraception remains a big concern for women who are using it. Do you have concerns that you may not be able to get pregnant if you've been on birth control? Watch this video. I am Jeff McQueary, a Tennessee gynecologist. If your gynecologic problems are dominating your life and you want to take back control, solve your problems with solutions from my channel, Women's Healthcare Answers. It is common for contraceptives to not have any long-term effects on fertility. But if you are trying to conceive soon, there are some you should not be on. So stay to the end to understand what you should do if you have had your tubes tied and now you've decided to get pregnant. When you're planning on trying to conceive soon, it is very important to choose a contraceptive method that matches your plans in the near future. You also need to be very healthy overall. And certainly, you should always consider your age. Being in the age group of 35 to 45 increases your risk for infertility and for chromosome problems such as Down syndrome. Also, past the age of 45, conception is much less likely, but it's not impossible. So different types of contraception may very well affect you differently in your return to fertility after stopping it. So let's talk about the different types of contraception. The first one is the birth control pill. This could also include the ring. This does not affect fertility long term. Typically, after stopping the pill, your hormones return to normal very quickly, typically even within a couple of weeks, so there is no long-term side effect. But what about the morning after pill? This pill intentionally delays ovulation to make sure you don't get pregnant, and it makes it more difficult to get pregnant right away. Since this is a short-term effect, though, if you need to take it, there is no long-term lasting effects of the pill. So the other thing is the depot shot. Well, the main problem with the depot shot is that it has a lingering effect, even after 3 months, after it's intended for contraception. So the effects may last for a long time, lingering in your muscle. I've seen poor ovulation leading to no pregnancy for up to 1 year or even 2 years after stopping the injection. So I think that the main message with the depot shot is if you want to be pregnant soon, you should not be on the depot shot. It's just too long lasting and will delay your plans. So fertility will typically return, though, within 10 months to maybe somewhere between 1.5 years in most women. So it's definitely delayed from what the regular birth control pills are. What about the contraceptive implant? Well, the implant goes in your arm and can last up to 3 years. But the good thing is that when it is removed, you return to normal very quickly and your hormones become normal, often within just a few days to a week. But long term, it really just doesn't affect your fertility. And then there's the IUD, especially the progesterone IUD. Remember, this is a contraceptive device typically with a T shape that has progesterone attached to it. So the effects of the progesterone IUD are to thin out the uterine lining and thicken the cervical mucus. Well, this keeps sperm from penetrating into the uterus. IUDs are really very extremely effective at contraception, but when they are in, but can be removed very easily. So IUDs also can potentially cause infections in the uterus, but that's typically at the time of placement and is still very rare. So typically after removal, fertility returns to normal within a month or two. You're trying to overcome that thinness of the uterine lining. So if you like this video so far, hit the like button. It really helps with YouTube. And please subscribe, because if you miss any of my new medical videos coming out every week, who am I going to talk to? Just give me a thumbs up and please comment. So back to the information you want. I told you I would talk about what to do after sterilization. So let's talk about that. There are several types of sterilization. There used to be coils that could be inserted into the tubes through the uterus, and this was called Essure. They were placed into the fallopian tubes, and they caused damage that could not be undone. But on December 31st, 2018, the company that made them, called Bayer, stopped selling and distributing the Essure devices in the United States. But the most common type of sterilization is not that. It has been the tubal ligation, which is a removal or clamping of just a small portion of the fallopian tube. But what is more common now is complete removal of the fallopian tubes to decrease the risk of cancer later in life. Well, obviously, if you wanted to be sterilized and you are sterilized and you had any of these procedures, then you didn't want to get pregnant. But we all know circumstances can change and you may have a new partner you want to have a child with. So what can you do? Well, tubal reanastomosis is the process of stitching the tubes back together. And this can reverse that intentional sterilization. But it can only be done if you've had a tubal ligation damaging only a small portion of each tube. But this can be a very costly and tedious process and requires major surgery. The problem is it doesn't always work. And so you get it done and you still might not get pregnant. So in the case of desired fertility after sterilization, some people feel that the best option may be in vitro fertilization. It's also known as IVF, and it could be the option for you. Just remember, no matter what type of contraception that you're on or have been using in the past, it only affects your ability to get pregnant when you're using it. That's what it's meant for. There are many studies that show the rate of pregnancy within 12 months of stopping any type of contraception is about 83% on average, but it varies somewhere between 71 and 96. And remember, the Depo-Provera shot, probably if you want to get pregnant soon, you shouldn't be on. So my final message is contraceptive use, no matter how long you use it, does not keep you from getting pregnant long term, although it may delay your time to get pregnant for up to 1 year or more. So if you're trying to get pregnant and you are frustrated because it's been over a year, see your gynecologist. They will evaluate you and treat you for potential infertility issues. So hopefully you feel you learned something today. And as always, I enjoyed being here with you. I would love to help solve your problems at Women's Healthcare Answers. Remember, this video is meant for information purposes only. Please consult your own healthcare provider, but it's okay to reference the information I give you.